happy to welcome our first speakers and guys, Sean, Benedict. Hello. Uh, how are you?
Hi, Julia.
Doing
I'm
great.
good. How are you?
All right. Good to see you. Welcome to the conference. And do you know what date is today?
I don't. What day is it?
You don't? Okay. So today is a magical date. It's 12/02/2021. So you can read it forward and backwards. It's going to be the same. So it's something good is going to happen today. That's for sure. And well, the first good thing is your presentation, which you're about to start. So good luck with that.
Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure to be here again. Virtual for the first time. And yeah, I have the honor to be talking with Sean today, one of our long term dearest clients, about some of the campaigns and some of the influencer activation that we've done with the Battle Cats. Nice to be here with you, Sean.
Thanks very much, Benedict and Julia. All right, it's a pleasure to be here.
So, shall we jump right into things? First of all, I want to give you a quick introduction about GameInfluencer and what we've done as a company, starting with a quick show reel. No? Come on.
Working with GameInfluencer has been a super positive experience, not only for myself, but for my channel. Oh yeah! Super.
I thought we could have a go ourselves first.
Oh! Oh! Working with
So, this was some of the stuff that we've been doing in the last 5 years that we've been around. I myself have been at GameInfluencer for 4 years, leading our account management team, working with clients in and around the gaming industry to bring creative campaigns and set up all things influencer related for them. We as GameInfluencer are a full service influencer marketing agency, um, completely focused on games and gaming related businesses, having worked with tens of thousands of influencers, generating more than 500 million views on their channels across 6 continents. We have a strong database which contains like 3.1 million influencers, which we use to query for what audience they're reaching, what content they're doing, and also what kind of past campaign performance they had. Um, and with that, we are setting up creative campaigns in the influencer field, mostly on YouTube and Twitch, but also Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And recently, we've gotten a strong focus on TikTok as well. We're setting up creative campaigns and also doing the user acquisition, something that we'll be doing with PONOS soon, but that's still in the running. So that's not what we're going to talk about today, but today we're mostly going to be talking about our regular influencer marketing campaigns on YouTube mostly. We've also started doing a lot of content licensing for our clients, where we actually had influencers produce short ads, which then our clients will use for user acquisition on the relevant platforms for Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Reddit ads, for example, which has been working also quite well. So yeah, that's short overview of GameInfluencer. Sean, can you tell us a bit more about PONOS and the Battle Cats, which we'll talk about more later?
I sure can, Benedict. All right, my name is Sean Coble, and since 2014, I've been with PONOS Corporation as the English Language Promotion Coordinator and Localization Specialist for the Battle Cats. PONOS is a game developer headquartered in Kyoto, Japan, and we have been developing and publishing a variety of game titles for iOS and Android since 2008. Our flagship title is The Battle Cats, first released in 2012, which I'd describe as a mid-core tower defense game where players assemble an army of weirdly cute cats to conquer the world. So we should have a trailer for the game, so maybe we could show that now. Right. So in the core gameplay loop for the Battle Cats, players select a battle formation of 10 cats, then strategically deploy them to counter the ongoing enemy attack and destroy the enemy base before they destroy yours. Each cat has different skills and traits, as do the enemies, so the key to progress is to collect and develop a wide variety of cat heroes and select from them a team that can counter the specific threats in each battle map. The game has a huge amount of content with over 1,000 characters and a similar number of stages. And we have regular monthly updates that are adding even more heroes, battle maps, and new features to the game, which helps us maintain a long-term and loyal user base. So, over the 8 years since Battle Cat's release, we've reached over 58 million worldwide downloads, published 3 localizations of the game, and collaborated with major IPs like Evangelion, Street Fighter V, and Hatsune Miku, while expanding the game's reach to a larger global audience through influencer promotions and social media campaigns. So I think that pretty much sums it up for me. So I'll return it to you, Benedict.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Sean. Well, you already mentioned the influencer campaigns that you've been running. So yeah, let's get right into it. So what are we looking for when we're setting up an influencer campaign for the Battle Cats? First of all, we're looking mostly for influencer channels that are multi-gaming, that kind of sort of play different kinds of games, that more influence with their charisma than their skill in a specific kind of game, that have kind of a broad appeal. And what is most important for the influencer, at least for me, is that they fit kind of the sort of a bit wacky humor that Battle Cats has. You've just seen the trailer. It certainly is a really funny game if you play. Like the cats are just hilarious, and the influencer really need to match kind of the humor that the that games bring, and can bring that across to the followers, so that we really get entertaining and engaging content. We've been working with Battle Cats in the English, Spanish, and French markets so far. We'll be further expanding in the German ones once the localization is ready. And what we've been doing mostly is focusing on YouTube as the main platform, where the influencer will produce long-form content items, as well as additional pushes on other social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But John, like, what is it that you're looking for when you're selecting influence? Because I know we're providing you with a sort of good selection, but what is it that you and the team are looking for when you pick and select a specific influencer that you want to go ahead with?
Well, I think at the core, you pretty much hit on all the points. We're looking for people that can really, speak to the humor of the game and speak to, what makes it just a fun experience, because that's what we want to provide all of our players with. Someone, and if the influencer we work with can really present themselves enjoying like the game rather than, showing like an intense amount of skill or something, right? Enjoyment is what it comes down to. I mean, so we try to stay very much in touch with what our users' interests are. Like, we see what memes they're sharing on social media. We take regular user surveys. And from that, we kind of get a sense of what really clicks with them. Like, are they, no, do they like content with anime references or something? Then maybe we will choose, a YouTuber who also, you know, makes a lot of Japanese pop culture jokes or something like that, right? And also the tone of upcoming events, right? Are we going to have a collaboration with an IP? Then maybe we'll select an influencer who, well, is very much invested in like similar media content to that IP, right? Just drawing the type of player who's really going to, like, find the right fit with the Battle Cats.
Absolutely. Then let's have a look at the influencers we've chosen so far. Like some of these are probably a bit more well known, like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye are definitely among the bigger names in the gaming community, but also Preston or Hugo Herman, who is, I think, still one of the biggest Spanish-speaking guys. And as I mentioned before, most of these are very charismatic entertainers that like play a multitude of different games and just were able to create very funny, engaging content around the Battle Cats. We also had some influencers, as Sean mentioned, from the anime sector, like RDC World, who we activated for a cooperation we had with Hatsune Miku. You mentioned it already, Jean. So that I think was also really cool. So just something that fits the current style of the game. And maybe let's look at some of the content pieces, like just very short snippets of what the people have been doing. So let's see what Preston has included in his video.
And I'll see you on the battlefield.
And just real quick to Markiplier as well.
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier. Cats. This is a mobile game that I like very much. Not because the cats in front of you are extremely creepy and all that, but that they are. But also just because it's a really silly idea that's executed very well, and I do like that a lot.
I just really love his voice, and I think he did an amazing job on the video. Sean, which was your favorite video from Battle Cats that we've done so far?
Oh, personally, I like Markiplier as well, right? He's so resonant, and I feel like his reactions are very sincere, right? And that's also something that we look for in our influencers, like a sincere like reaction of surprise or entertainment, right? You know, just the response is what I think really speaks to users. Oh.
Absolutely. Which basically brings us to the next topic: how did the content perform? Let's jump into the numbers for a bit, shall we? So, what are the main KPIs that we've reached throughout the whole campaign? As seen before, we've got 12 influencers that we had in the campaign. In total, the content items that we put out reached over 35 million views by now. So we have around 3 million views on average per content item, which is, I think, pretty good, and also had very good engagement rates on these videos. On average, we get around 10% of engagement in comments, likes, shares. So I think that speaks for the content itself. So let's jump right into the very details of what the content has been performing. So the first content piece that I want to dive a bit deeper into was one cooperation we did with Dan and Phil Games back when they still were doing videos together. I think it's been a bit of an older cooperation, but I think it very nicely showcases what we are really trying to do with Battle Cats. So then, Phil, basically did a full feature let's play video on YouTube where they really like showed all of the great emotions in Battle Cats, like engage with the game and really had a lot of fun. But we also like to include the audience into our videos because it's of course not only about the influencer but about the audience as well. And during the time of the video, PONOS was running a design contest for Battle Cats where the community could basically create their own cats, like draw them, draw their evolutions, and publish them in on social media under the hashtag NextBattleCat. Um, then Phil also did their own submission. Um, and also their fans were called upon taking part in the contest in the video, which went really well. We had 3,000 really cool submissions. Some very crazy ones like big mecha cats of the style you've seen in the trailer. Um, but in the end, I think a very cool submission won, like the Harvest cat, and it has been implemented in the game, right, Sean? And it should still be there.
Yes. Like I said, we had a huge amount of submissions, from every, from North America, from Japan, from Korea, from Taiwan, all over the place. And yeah, the eventual winner, the the farmer cat, was made into a very adorable character that was provided to all players, as a reward, as a thank you for participating, right? But even if players' designs weren't selected, we still made a very sincere effort to create galleries so that everyone could appreciate what our design team had like really attached themselves to.
Absolutely, yeah. And kind of the community engagement and the really cool video from then Phil showed off in the results, right? We had a conversion rate of 6.75% from view to install, which basically led to the installs increasing by 43.5% and the daily active users in the game increasing by 10.7% in the week after the video's release. Also, the retention rates were pretty good, I think. We had a day 7 retention from the users of 49.43%, a day 14 retention of 39.26%, and after day 30, there was still 26.24% of the new users that retained in the game. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the first examples that we have. Let's talk about other videos that were released because, of course, we also had the general campaign. So basically, when a video from Battle Cats is released, we see the daily installs the first 3 days after the video release go up by 183%. So, of course, as always with influencer marketing, you have a strong instant push directly after the video is released. But especially with the superstars that we've been working with, we see more of a long-term effect, right? So even after the videos have been up for 30 days, I think there's a little mistake in the presentation, sorry about that, we still see an average increase in daily installs of 33%. So definitely have a strong long tail impact here. Also, it's not only about the direct installs that we are generating, but also the retention rates of the users have been good, better than an average. So just one number, the day 3 user retention for Preston specifically has been 2.7% better than in an average in a comparable time frame. And what I personally think the most important and most interesting set on Battle Cats is the organic uplift that we generated, so the non-tracked installs, which on average for all of our campaigns was 900%, which compared to other influencer marketing topics is really big. But maybe let's talk about the organic uplift a bit more in detail. Sean, can you tell me how you measure it, how you come up with that number?
Essentially, we look at the graphs and trends for what the installs are, the increase in installs that occurs immediately after the release. We'll compare that for a set period to a set period before the release of the video that doesn't have any events or collaborations or something inside the game that we would expect to drive installs in a particularly meaningful way. So by doing that, we are able to get a good estimate of the impact that the influencer and their video had on the organic installs, which can manifest through smaller YouTubers perhaps picking up on the if on what a larger influencer is showing interest in, or just increased word of mouth, the boost in the app store sales, or like the install rankings. There's a variety of ways in which an influencer can have unseen, untracked effects that nonetheless do still appear when we're looking at our KPIs.
Absolutely. And it's something that in our experience is really, really exceptional for these kind of superstars influencers that we have been working with. So when we look at our influencer campaigns in general, we as an agency are of course working with all sizes of influencers, from the big superstar influencers of Battle Cats to kind of smaller, more niche oriented influencers. And like 900% organic uplift is really something that is very much exceptional. On average, we are seeing something like 300% organic uplift, and for some content items, we are seeing even just like 100 or 50%. So it's really that these superstars are able to generate a lot of a wave in their wake, basically. As Sean said, like it might be smaller influencers that are picking up. It definitely was also the App Store rankings that are just pushed very much by one concentrated, massive influencer outreach that, of course, on its own generates a lot of tracked installs, but then we'll have this huge surge around it. We'll really get lots and lots of people into the campaign. So yeah, that's kind of what we think we can learn from this campaign. That size really matters. Like from what I hear, micro-influencer and even nano-influencer are very much a trend right now in the industry. But as we hopefully could have shown you in this presentation, superstars definitely can pull their weight just by the fact that they create so much of an impact on the game, on the installs, and thus by the sheer size and by their influentialness, not only on their fans, but also on smaller YouTubers, smaller content creators, they can really push in the big weight. And not only create a lot of installs, but also create a very good user quality, right? So also the retention rates have been above average. So we can really get like masses of high quality players in the game with these influencer superstars. Another thing that we have learned with this campaign is sometimes it's good to let the game speak for itself. If we have well-briefed, planned, and executed gaming content, which then creates these user acquisition effects and, of course, the retention rates. With Battle Cats, most of the time, our influencers have just been playing the game. They've created full feature Let's Play videos, just 15, 20 minutes of the influencers having fun with the game, capturing the best moments, the funniest interactions in the game, basically just were work for them and just showed that joy that they had. But it's also important, as we talked about already, to involve the audience. Basically, with all of our campaigns, we also had some sort of contest involved. Not all of them were as big as with then Phil, where actually the people or the designs were put into the game. But sometimes we just had regular drawing contests, which the people could release on social media, and therefore just create a bit of hype, a bit of buzz about the game, that the fans and followers of the influencer also feel engaged to the Battle Cats. John, what would you say was your most important learnings from the Battle Cats?
Mm. Well, I think what we really learned to focus on is allowing the YouTubers to bring their own sense of personality to the content they produce for us, right? I mean, we can open up, you know, areas of the game to them so they can get into like it a little bit more deeply, but really if we try to over direct them, if we try to very much micromanage what they do, it's going to feel less organic to their channel. And you know I mean, YouTube viewers are savvy media consumers, and they they can smell like BS from a mile away. So what we really want is you know the the battle cats to be integrated in a natural way into the into the what the YouTuber brings to us. And I think in all of the cases that Benedict has highlighted, that's been the case.
Absolutely. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot, Sean. So we're already nearing the end of our time slot, and I basically want to give a quick chance to also go into an FAQ. Julia, back over to you.
Yes. Hello, guys. Thank you so much. That was interesting. I'm always a little bit skeptical when it comes to the influencer marketing. So it's really nice to see, like learnings and real case examples. The question, it's actually my question that I have for you. Um, can you please comment or maybe give examples as well? Like there is always a risk, I think, when you work with a celebrity that something goes wrong just because it's a celebrity, it's a person, and they will say like I'm in a bad mood, or you said something wrong, and instead of attracting people to your project, they might do some harm. uh, have you experienced such situation, and uh, what's the strategy should be in this case?
Sean, do you want to start with that, or should I go ahead? I think with Battle Cats we didn't really have too much of a bad situation yet, did we?
Hmm. Nothing that's so we've certainly had something go wrong personally with an influencer, but I think in our experience it's pretty much always been in time, like before they've produced too much or are too deeply invested that it would mess up the entire campaign. So it's I can see
So
how there would be a
yeah.
What I can say maybe with Battle Cats, we actually had the advantage of working on VOD content, right? So basically, we only worked on YouTube videos and accompanying social media pushes. So we always get the content for approval before everything goes live and can make sure that everything runs smoothly. What happened, I think, one or two times that one of the influencers actually first agreed to work with us and then stepped back from the campaign again because like they didn't think the game was like a perfect fit, and that's also what we want, right? We want really the influencer to enjoy the content, so that's fine for us. But with the VOD setting as we're doing, it kind of takes the risk out a bit, right? It's different from a live setting as we are currently talking about. So I definitely agree with everybody, and I think Sean, you're on the same page. That for something like Battle Cats, if you're really investing a lot of weight into those campaigns, it's good to have the security of a VOD release.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying that, well, at least right now, influencers are pretty professional, uh, you know, so they are responsible for what they are doing and not like, some individuals that you cannot rely on.
Hmm.
I think the influencer industry has been getting a lot more professional throughout the years. I've been doing this for, as I said, almost 4 years by now, and like earlier it was a bit more of Wild West style, but especially the bigger influencers. It's their job, it's their business, and it's their passion, and they know how much um, their reputation is worth. So these individuals are usually very much professionals that you have a good time working with.
Yeah, and GameInfluencer has definitely worked with us to make the expectations clear to the influencer, and if they're not able to provide, on a professional timeline, that we can find alternatives.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. And well, I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for your presentation and for your talk. That was really interesting, and it was nice to have you guys.